Going on, beautiful people? It's your boy Lando Success. So I recently did a video covering Andrew Tate last interview, and the comments had mixed reviews where people loved it, people hate it, and I am here for the YouTube algorithm. So in that video, he talked about his last final message that he put out on his own platform, his own website. It's freetopg.com. And in that video, it's about an hour and like 20 minutes long. And you guys don't have to watch that very long, boring video. That's what I'm for. I'm going to take important parts, cover it, give my opinion and my perspective, because it's a win-win for me because I'm non-biased. You know, any person being banned on any platform for speaking their mind, I'm not with it. But it tells me a lot about him in here. I believe he was very rhetorical with his words. Now, I do have a lot of critique as a YouTuber because when you put these videos together, you want to have like a great intro, middle, ending. And I believe he is a better person to be interviewed because he give great answers versus doing his own thing, because it was like terrible to watch. It's tough to basically make it through. But I'm going to try to make it interesting for you guys. All I ask in return is hit that good old like button, subscribe, leave a comment, good or bad, we take it all. So in the beginning, it was kind of weird because he started with like a story of how he was raised on in the south side of Chicago, about him hitting a kid over the head with a lunch bag that was bullying him. And he didn't circle it back to make too much sense. So I'm just going to go to like the end of the story and we're going to go from there.
I was thinking for a long time how to start this video because it needs to be concise and compendious, but I also want it to be very, very comprehensive. And I guess the best place to start is at the beginning. There's been many different versions of my life story, which have been put on the internet as of late and from many years ago. But I'm going to give a very, very quick overview of my story.
So here go the part I was talking about.
It hit me, etc. And I came home and I told my dad about it. I said, Dad, these two kids are picking on me every single time I get the school bus. I don't know what to do. And my dad said, I'm not going to call the teacher because the teacher ain't on the bus. And I'm not going to call the school bus driver because they're busy driving. Son, if you want to deal with this, you're going to have to deal with it yourself. And I said, but Dad, they're bigger than me. What do you want me to do? There's two of them and they're bigger than me. And at the time, I'd just come home from school and I was holding a lunchbox. And my dad pointed and said, you have a lunchbox, son? Teach them. So weeks had passed. It was a few weeks. They kept picking on me, and I felt myself sitting there getting more insecure, and the rage was boiling inside of me. And one day, one of them slapped me in the side of the face from behind. I was sitting on the chair. He slapped me in the face from behind. And instantly, I don't know what it was, but this was the day I had enough. And I turned with my lunchbox and swung it over the back of the school bus chair and caught him and busted his eye clean open. The plastic Batman lunchbox hit him in the eye and blood started squirting everywhere.
So that's like the intro, basically breaking down like, look, I was bullied and my dad taught me how to stand up for myself. And I guess when he tried to like land the plane and circle it around, it's like, this is why I am how I am now. I don't fully get that part, but we're going to carry on. I would say like you put that in like a memoir. Like, you know, put that in your book where you basically breaking all that stuff down. Now, this part is interesting where he talk about his relationship with a gay friend he had growing up versus times now.
For myself, because this is how I was taught to act. In high school, I ended up having a reputation of a guy that nobody really messed with. I certainly wasn't a bully. Absolutely the opposite, but no one really picked on me. I actually had a friend in school who was gay. I had 5 main friends in school, and I was also friends with a gay guy. And he would make fun of me for being American, and I would make fun of him for being gay back then. But the world was a very, very different place. This is many, many years ago. And we had friendly banter back and forth, but we were very good friends. And I stuck up for him and prevented anyone else picking on him all of the time. And the banter between us, the locker room talk, which would be considered absolutely unacceptable today, at the time was very, very normal. And we had a great time. We were good friends. And I heard from him, actually, after this ban. And he said, you should mention the fact that the things they say about you completely aren't true.
Real quick, I love his setup. So like in the back, you got this moving. I would have turned on a fireplace. I would have dimmed the lights a little bit more, and I would have fixed them pillows. But this is a great setup, though.
And this leads me on to the reason I believe these narratives have managed to gain such a foothold in popular consciousness. Due to the fact I've managed to develop an iron mind, because I'm probably the only individual on earth who can be vilified to this level without taking personal insult and without being emotionally affected, what I've done is I've allowed certain narratives to gain traction, which I shouldn't have allowed to gain traction, because they didn't personally bother me, because I know they are false. I live with a very, very pure heart. I'm a religious man. I go to church, and anyone who follows me in detail knows I donate huge sums of money to the church.
You hear I get the sad music in the background.
And as long as I knew the truth of my heart and God knew the truth of my heart, I wasn't interested in lies being purported. I now understand that that's wrong, because even though I've done nothing wrong, even though it doesn't emotionally affect me, even though God and myself know my innocence, the public consciousness has been polluted to a point where narratives are being purported which are absolutely and utterly false.
So he's going to go through a part where he just rhetorically is rhetorically a word, where he talks about the narratives put on him, people taking clips, people doing this. He said that probably like 12 times in here. So you kind of get annoyed of it. But if anybody feel him, I feel him. I'm a content creator, so I know how things can get.
And it's having a genuine negative impact on the people who I care about and the people who care about me. And despite the fact it doesn't emotionally affect me, as a man, I have a duty to protect all of those I love. And for this reason, these narratives have started to become very, very harmful. I was under understanding that on the internet, people don't like you. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you say. There's going to be some people who don't like you, and the people who don't like you are not interested in the truth. What they are interested in is finding some lie that they can latch onto and accelerating that lie on as much as possible via their platforms to try and paint a negative picture of you because they don't like you. A lot of these
I love how he did that.
attacks against me are disguised under the virtue of caring about women. But none of these people who are attacking me care about women. None of them donate to women's charities. None of them donate to charity like I do. None of them help anybody like I do. I'm about to show, later on in this video, proof of the massive work I do for helping people. They don't help anybody. All they do is just attack me and use fake virtue, the fact they pretend to care.
Let's talk about that. Oh, that's actually a cigar holder. I just bought me a case of Olivas too. Shout out to my plug that gave me that. Let's talk about that. Everything he said right there is completely facts, because what happens is it would be like, oh, let's care about these women or LBGT cause. Let's prop them up and let's help them. And big media don't give a damn about any of them. It's all a money grab. It's literally always a money grab. They don't care about individual black people in their situation. They don't care about individual gay people in their situation. It always comes down to a money grab, because if they cared, they would really do the real tangible things, you know, to help people out. Or even you have like the black LBGTQ area, then it's like, oh yeah, let's do this, and they'll never get the money. It just always go to like some different charity or something. So everything he said right there, in my opinion, is completely factual. Let me know y'all thoughts on that part. But he did say he's going to prove and show all the charitable things he do towards the end. So that was a smart thing to keep you watching. But we gonna see y'all opinion on the things he do, and is it justified?
I do have a problem with false criminal accusations when I do not have a criminal record. And I have never had a criminal record in any country on the planet. I do have a problem with this. And also I have a problem with the fact that social media has changed so much in modern times. A lot of the things I said that are being used against me were said 5 or 6 years ago in long format video. And as of late, with TikTok, with YouTube Shorts, with Instagram Reels, it's very, very easy to take 2 hours of video, snip out 10 seconds, edit it up quickly on a phone app, and then blow it up to millions and millions of views with all context removed, all tonality removed, and makes it look like I'm saying things I did not say, or I mean things I did not mean. And this is something that I can't control. I became the most Googled man on the planet, and to a degree, I'm a victim of my own success because now people are trying to find any little clip of anything I've ever said, remove all the tonality, and just blow it up to try and get views to be as controversial as possible. I understand why they're doing that. They're doing that because they want the views for themselves, but they're not taking into consideration how that affects me and my personal image as a whole. And I think the things I've just highlighted has now culminated in the media believing something about me which is so pertinently false.
So let's break that down, because I'm a content creator, so I 100% get it, because the thing is, my job is to give you guys great, watchable, viewable content, whether it's finance, whether it's whatever it is. Now with Andrew Tate, we can take this video, for example. Say it's a 25-minute video, but his whole interview is an hour and 20 minutes. Y'all don't possibly want to watch that whole hour and 20, but you'll watch 15 minutes of it. And it's like, yo, just give me the highlights, because I'm a give me the highlight type of person on certain interviews. I'm like, oh, I ain't gonna watch all of that. Give me a highlight. And he is right. You can take this interview and you can clip it up and make them seem bad. You can take it, clip it up and make them seem positive. Me, I'm a very news pro. I'm not about to paint. Like, that's not what I do. Paint somebody to look bad, like to get some views or clicks. Like, that's just stupid to me. Just show the facts or the interview, whatever you want to call it, and give your opinion about it and let people decide on their own. That's my honest opinion about it. But it is kind of boy crying wolf after a while, because he did it himself. So he understand analytics and YouTube and stuff. Right now, his name, you post something, it completely go up. So he understand analytics. So he have done it before himself. So, you know.
Based on videos I have never even made, purported and accelerated and advertised by people who I don't even know, with such a small piece of video from me, with all context removed, that I've now become the #1 villain of Earth, and I truly believe that's unjust. And I want to discuss that here and prove to the world in my final message that I am not any of the things I've been accused of. Regardless of whether I am banned, reinstated, remain on social media, is completely beside the point. This is just a matter of clearing the air while I have the national consciousness. I was massively a victim of my own success. I decided to accelerate my public persona and presence about 6 months ago.
See, he decided to do it. He's a very smart guy. Damn near a genius. So he's very intelligent, and he planned most of this. He planned this video, and I'm going to give my opinion on that at the end, because I don't believe everything.
And I was massively successful. I became the most Googled man on the planet. I am, by the metrics of the internet, the most famous individual who is currently alive in the world today. That comes with a bunch of advantages and disadvantages. We can go into those at depth. The disadvantages are safety aspects, safety concerns, which we're going to talk about a bit later. I've had serious threats on my life. I receive over 5,000 death threats per day. So do people who I love and people I care about. They also receive death threats. The social media companies have yet to take any action against this. They were uninterested in trying to police this in any form.
I want to know, what's your thoughts about the death threats? Because in my genuine opinion, 99.9% of celebrities get them, and 99.9% of them is all cap. You never really seen a celebrity or celebrity mom get killed by a fan. It just, unfortunately, like, it really don't happen. So I take those with a grain of salt personally. Like, yeah, it sucks because it can affect you mentally. It can affect your loved one's mental space. But I, as a person that get, hate comments and stuff, I guess I don't care, because when you see people in real life, they never had that energy. It's like, bro, get your ass somewhere before you get popped.
The advantages are, of course, is that I have a massive effect on people. And I have had thousands of emails from men saying, you've saved me from depression. You've saved me from suicide. You helped me so much. The #1 video on my YouTube channel, my pinned video, has been for over a year. Mind hacks, how to beat depression, how to feel better as a man.
So if we fast forward a little bit, it's the same thing. Like, I'm telling you, it's a lot of this. So y'all hit that like button for not having to watch this whole thing.
Out of love for me. They weren't doing it because they cared about me. The main reason people were talking about me so extensively is because they cared about their own channels, their own views. They wanted their own clicks. And they understood that if they can make a YouTube video purporting a lie about me or saying bad things about me, it's more likely to get clicked. It's more likely to get watched. It's more likely to get shared. Expose, Andrew Tate is this. Expose, Andrew Tate is that. And what's happened is people, through their own selfish desires of trying to piggyback off the back of my massive fame and becoming the most famous man on the planet, have decided that making a bunch of negative videos is a fantastic way for them to personally gain clout and personally gain views and clicks, which is what the internet is about. And we ended up in a situation where videos of me from long ago are being taken out of context purposefully to try and purport a narrative which is not true, because people understand that's a very easy way for them to gain some clout and leech off of my success.
So yeah, it's a lot of that. I'm trying to get to the good highlight, but I want to at least show y'all that I wasn't capping when I said it's a lot of that.
And it's hard, because I think any content creator who was suffering from what I've suffered from, if any content creator got as large as I was, and there was as many people cutting up their videos as they were mine, and those people had a negative agenda, we could make Mickey Mouse look evil. You could make anyone look bad. I'm not saying I haven't given them ammo. Of course, there's been the...
I'm positive if I Google Mickey Mouse Illuminati right now, it's going to be videos of Mickey Mouse sign proving that it's Illuminati. So yes, that's factual.
Clip that made it easy for them. I'm saying if their intentions were to be as provocative and negative as possible, it can be done to anybody. And that's why now I need to take a break from all the podcasts I've been invited on, especially since I've been banned. I've been invited on the largest platforms in the world. I've had 100,000 emails of support. All the media channels want to talk to me. And I'm sitting here thinking, I need to make sure I'm not misunderstood. And I have to really be careful about how I do that while not backing down on my messaging, while still championing the things I champion, still believing in myself, but making sure I'm not misunderstood. And although I think on the internet I am one of the most respected oratists that exist, I now need to once again improve myself and improve my skills and prevent anybody being able to take me out of context. I might have to form a new way for sentences to be constructed. But if that's what it takes, that's what I intend to do. Because with great influence comes absolutely and utterly great.
So that was my first red flag. And y'all will say, Lando, what you mean red flag? Because I understand YouTube. I understand people that love fame and stuff. And my question is, was Buddy really banned? Because he was like, look, because I'm like, you really can't ban somebody in this industry right now, or just in social media. You can try to, in certain social medias, you can cut them off, but just from the world, you can't, because you always going to have people that think the same way as you will bring you on their platform, people that pay you book deals. So it was great that he said, you know, I decided to take a step back, not do any interviews and stuff, and figure out how I want to move forward. So that was my flag to wonder, like, were you fully banned? But I'll talk more about that in a little bit.
Regardless of the fact that I did not want it to happen. So let me give a quick example of this. Before I continue, I want to say that I often speak to the absolute beauty of women. I have a very healthy relationship with my mother. I have women around me who truly and utterly love.
So wait, is Buddy black? This is a black dad right here. This is a brother. She's a black woman. So is he mixed? Is he just like a black and white? Look, y'all, I know a black man when I see one. Shout out to him. That's why I like Andrew Tate, your brother.
Me. I have very healthy relationships with females. I have no criminal charges for crimes against females. Nobody has come forward and accused me of sexual misconduct. Please understand, we'll go into the Romanian house raid shortly, but most people in my position of fame have had women come forward and say he raped me. I'm the most famous man on the planet. There's not a single female whose face you can name or whose face you can picture that's come forward and said I've raped her. Not a single female has come forward saying I've hurt her. Not one. There's a video from 10 years ago that showed me in a sexual act with one of my ex-girlfriends.
Listen, hey, stupid bitch. I didn't say the word listen. Did I say listen?
Hello everyone, I just wanted to say something about the video that's been released recently about me and my ex-boyfriend Andrew Tate. Andrew is my still great friend. What you guys saw on the video, it's just what we used to do. It was just pure game. He's a great guy. He would never hurt anyone unless he's fighting.
The left understand that kink shaming is a negative.
So that was my first time seeing that, and it's like, because people in the comments gonna be like, oh, he paid her off to say that. Not necessarily. I believe that. I completely believe it. That's his personality. She's probably a freak that was doing internet stuff and didn't know he would be this big. And she like, look, y'all, it's not that serious. That's my personal opinion. People gonna say, oh, he paid her off. But you gotta think, Deshaun Watson got 1,000 women that he done did something with them. And look at Bill Cosby. So money don't work with everybody.
From my understanding, she has come forward and said that it was all just a game. And still that video is being used and sent around the internet saying I'm a woman beater. If I said it was a game and she said it was a game, who are other people to then comment on our lives, our private lives, which got leaked, and tell us it's not a game? It was between two consenting adults, and we decided to do something ourselves, and we both agreed it was fine, and she has not come forward trying to accuse me of anything. So who are others to do that? That's just kink shaming, which that's all it is. So no women are accusing me of anything. No women are accusing me of misconduct. I champion women all the time. I say about how they should be protected, how beautiful they are, how much I love my grandmother because of the amount of children she had.
My grandmother had 9 children because there was my father and 8 more. They all had a bunch of kids, blah, blah, blah. I stood there and I looked at my 93-year-old grandmother, and there was a room, a whole room full with maybe 70 people that came from that one woman. Isn't that remarkable? Yeah, that nobody cared about her career. Nobody asked what job she did. Nobody asked how many times she went to the club. Nobody asked if she had time to go to festivals. No, you had 70 sentient beings, including myself, full of life from one woman who dedicated herself to being a mother and a good wife. That is beautiful.
I talk about how women are unique and special and they can do things that men can't do. And still these clips are taken out of context. Let me give you an example.
I absolutely not really love women. I have nothing against women. I believe women are the most precious things on the planet. They create life. They should be protected. They should be provided for. I would never let a woman pay for a bill. I would never let a woman, if someone touched any of my women, I would stand up against 10 men by myself and risk my life to protect her. I believe that women are beautiful creatures. I just don't think that they're as emotionally calm as men in stressful situations. I don't think they can fight like a man can. And for the same reason, I would never drop my children in an all-male nursery. I think that's strange and weird. I would only drop them in an all-female nursery. Women do certain things and men do certain things.
Oh, shit. Let's pause right there. What did he say that is false? Absolutely nothing. Why women hate hearing the truth? That's the truth. He like, look, I'm going to pay the damn bill. I'm going to do everything my role as a man to be a protector. But when you tell a woman to do her role to be a nurturing, feminine, loving woman, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, no, we're even. Oh, I can fight like you. Like if somebody broke into your house right now, are you going to tell your wife to go get them? No, she's going to point at you. So he is just, man, don't let me get banned. Giving my opinion, my philosophy on that. But brother is speaking facts right there. I'm just saying.
On Instagram, absolutely no rules were broken. My captions were just poetry that I wrote. My pictures were just lifestyle. Car, house, boat. I never broke any rules on Instagram. I never had any strikes. I never done anything wrong on Instagram. The only rule infringements on Instagram were my comment section, where hate mobs inspired by these videos that we've been discussing, these videos which were deliberately taken out of context and deliberately fictional, hate mobs were inspired at the end of YouTube videos to go to my Instagram and insult me. So the only infringements you would find on Instagram is in my comment section, where thousands of people who were sent by random YouTubers who don't like me would come, threaten to kill me, mock my dead father, threaten to kill my brother, threatened to kill my family, threatened to find me. These were the only rule infringements on Instagram. Things written against me by other YouTubers, telling them to go and do it.
Now that is some BS. Like, think of that, because most of us have gotten strikes on Instagram, Facebook. So imagine he's just literally posting pictures of lifestyle. Everybody in the comments is like, I 1000% believe him right there. Everybody in the comments hate. He don't get protected off that. But if enough people just keep on flagging all this stuff, he get it taken down. Like, that's BS in my opinion.
It's me or nobody. And I truly believe that me, of how these negative fictional stories of me were gaining traction, and I wanted to try very, very hard to counter them. I put a post on Instagram, which you can see here, where I explained that the things I've said have been taken out of context. And just because I champion men's rights does not mean I dislike women. I think that men are underrepresented in the world today. And as people often say, men need to speak up. I'm here speaking for the men. I'm here trying to speak up. People are speaking up because of me. We're raising important issues in the world today because of me. Deleting me and blocking me is only going to hurt men as a whole and increase all the problems we see with the youth of the men today. So I put a post up and I said, listen, people misunderstand me. I'm going to donate money to a female charity that supports women against domestic violence. And I'm also going to donate money to a charity that supports men's mental health. Just because I support men doesn't mean I hate women. I love people. I'm a person full of love, and I want people as a whole to elevate, not just men or women. I promised $1 to each charity for every like. That's $2 per like total, $1 to each charity. At the time of my banning, I had 550,000 likes or something like that, I believe. And if I hear from Instagram, what I would like them to do is to clarify the final likes amount on that post so that I can stick to my word, because that's what I am. I'm a man of my word. I was not doing it purely just to post the receipt on social media. I was doing it because I genuinely believe it's a good thing to do. And I would like Instagram to confirm the final amount of likes on that picture so I can donate the $1.2, $1.3 million that I promised I would donate to both of those charities independently.
That's another red flag for me. It's like, okay, I'm always skeptical about those. Hey, how many likes is going to get? I'm going to donate whatever it is, because I'm a content creator that have done things like that. And 100% of the times I have done it. Literally, you can go on my feed, the people on my lives, they'll be like, man, Lando actually sent me money, because I do it on my Patreon. I do it. But I know 90% of people don't have that type of integrity. So, and it's easy to say, yo, if I hit the mega million, hell yeah, I give you $1 million, dog. If I hit 100 million, I'm giving you $1 million. It's nothing. You hit for 100 million, then you get taxes and you only get 50 million, and you buy your mom a house, buy a car, and you like, yo, what that million at? About that. So I take that with a grain of salt until you did it, until you do it. Once you donate that, then you get the receipts. But talking about donating is just talking about donating, in my opinion.
I would even be happy for Instagram to select the two charities and confirm and verify my donation. I'd be very happy to do that.
And there's no way Instagram is like, and when people say this, Instagram is not going to reach out to you and do this. So it's a 0% chance Instagram is going to do that. So it's easy to say you would do it, you know?
Because I said I was going to do that. And I'm a man of my word. I stick to my word. What's interesting to me is when I put that post up, if anybody else had promised to do that, there'd be massive positive attention. But everybody ignored it. Nobody in the media wanted to post about it. None of the YouTubers.
Yeah, I never heard about that. So I ain't following on Instagram, but I never heard about it.
YouTubers wanted to talk about it. Nobody wanted to talk about it because it doesn't get clicks. You only get clicks for hating me. You don't get clicks for telling the truth about me. So nobody's interested in telling the truth. Everybody ignored my charitable donations. If anybody else donated $1.3 million to charity, I'd like to think there'd be some sort of headline. But if I want to do it, nobody cares. And
Gotta first do it, dog.
prolific.
No, I'm not hating. I'm not hating. I'm just, fact sale, story sale. I need documentation. You got to do it, dog. Got to do it.
Where I've genuinely only been a net positive on the world for anyone who's watched my content in all of its long form. When Instagram tells me and confirms to me the number of likes on that post, I'm going to make the donation. As well as that, the future for me now that I will be a lot more careful and a lot more selective with the social media I'll be producing, if any at all, is I'm going to be starting a foundation, the Tate Foundation, which is going to be dedicated towards charitable acts of both genders. I have been very, very private about certain elements of my personal life, as has my brother. However, my brother has a daughter, and she's beautiful. She's my niece. I don't want her to grow up in a world where women are hated. I don't want her to grow up in a world where men are oppressive and hurting women.
She is the cutest thing ever right there.
I want her to find a strong man who can protect her, who can provide for her, who can make sure she's safe, but I don't want anything bad to ever happen to her. My own personal circumstances regarding family are something that are once again confidential, but I can confirm to you that the last thing I would ever want is for women to be marginalized in the future.
So it's the same thing kind of over and over, but you can honestly tell Buddy don't fully hate women, in my opinion.
Charitable
famous. I've been a world level athlete. I've started from nothing with a point where I had to run to the gym because I didn't even have a car to get there. I've done it all. So I've lived a very extreme life, and this is where these lessons come from.
To quickly address the rumors that I'm a sex trafficker and that's why I live in Romania. Firstly, that's a very, very racist attitude to have. I find it strange that the left and people who speak and talk about tolerance and inclusivity will assume that Romania as a country will allow me to be a rapist, or that Romania is the kind of place where rape is okay. That's an extremely racist mentality to have. Imagine someone saying that the other way around, that in this country, because it's run by these people, they're inherently bad. That's very unfair on Romania. Romania has been very good to me. It's a great country filled with fantastic people, amazing nature, great food. It's a great place. I live here because I love it. There's no other reason why I live here. They're a European Union nation. They have a strong legal system, just like every other country. And to sit here and say that, oh, Romania is where you can rape people, that's very racist. And I don't understand why nobody is pointing out the fact that anyone who's saying that and believes that is purporting racial stereotypes.
I heard in my comments, I've been hearing that. So everything he's saying is factual. I don't agree with anything brother said. I make me want to go check out Romania, you know? I'm just saying, but I agree with him on that point right there.
The second thing is, my house was raided by police under accusations that a woman was being held kidnapped. I have spoke about this at length many, many times. I was effectively swatted. I think this happens to all famous people on the internet, where the police is called, happens especially in America. They call the police and say, somebody has got a gun at this address and he's threatening to kill somebody. And the SWAT turn up and it turns out it's fake. It happened to Tim Pool repeatedly. It happened to Aiden Ross just the other day. Being swatted is unfortunately one of the things that happens when you're famous on the internet.
Whatever troll did it, you did it. You officially did it.
Well, we got swatted yesterday. It's so upsetting.
Just right after my mom arrived.
I was swatted. Someone made a call about me which was fake. The police responded, as they should. I would hate to live in a country where the police get a call that a woman's being held kidnapped and they don't bother going to look. That's not what a country should do. Absolutely, the Romanian authorities were exceptionally professional. I have nothing but positive things to say about them. They turned up professionally, turned up and investigated as they should. And they found out that it was completely false, that nobody was kidnapped, nobody was held against their will. I was not charged. I was not released on bail. I have no criminal charges in Romania, England, America, any country on the planet. I have no accusations against me for hurting women. And people are still on the internet saying, he's a human trafficker, the Romanian police are trying to get him in trouble for human trafficking. That's not true. That's not what happened. And I've said this many times, but people continue to ignore it and continue to purport the lie because that's how the internet works, right?
So this one really gets under my skin, like for real, because what they do is it's a attempt to get you executed, especially when you are a black person. I watch on the internet today where the police went in my man's house when he was in his bed smoking a vape, opened the door and just shot him. Execution. And when they do them swatting calls, because unfortunately I get big enough, they can do the shit to me. And the police you don't know what type of energy the police coming in with, because if you're getting swatted, they're saying you're doing some real illegal shit. So they coming in with the SWAT team I got all type of weapons around my house to protect myself. So it's like, oh, what y'all doing here? Now you didn't get executed off some bull. Your wife didn't get executed. Your mom, your cousin. That's bullshit. That's completely bullshit. And I see people, it happened to Tariq Nasheed before. Tried to get him. So anybody speak out, or people, them nerds that don't like what people say, that shit happen. It's bullshit. That's bullshit. I don't like that.
Taking it out of context and only focusing on the times women were mentioned, which is a very small percentage, 2 or 3% of my overall content, and ignoring all the time I said the exact same thing about men, or the times I loved women, and purporting this view. And I feel like this ban is the hard reset I needed to tell the truth. So for that, I'm thankful. I'm very, very thankful for that. What's next for Top G? Well, as I've said, I have built my dream life. I have everything I've ever wanted. I've done that with the tenets that I've been teaching the people who follow me. I've been teaching you the mental fortitude you need to truly have your dream life. I was talking to Aiden Ross on his stream, and he said, have you completed the game? And I guess in a way I have.
And do you feel like you've beaten the game?
No, I've hacked the Matrix and completely beaten the games. I have everything I've ever wanted.
I don't need anything else. All that's left for me to do is have a positive impact on the world. I don't think anybody truly wants to go down as a villain. Maybe some people do. I don't. I wasn't raised that way. I was raised to stick up for myself, to be strong, to be commanding, but I was raised to do the right thing. And that's why, as I stated, I have no criminal record. I stay away from drugs. There's a lot of people on social medias with large criminal records who advocate drug use. I think that's far more dangerous for society than me.
And that's kind of the end of it. Now, he did talk about a lot more charitable things that he planned on doing, and that he actually have been doing, putting his money together with it. I don't want to, the video is long enough. So overall, my honest opinion is I question if he has really been banned, or if he quote unquote banned himself. Lando, what do you mean by that? I mean, did he just get kicked off of Instagram and Facebook, right? Only banned off of those two. And he's smart enough to be like, yo, my most interested man in the world, views is going down. Let me put the narrative out there that I am banned to spike it back up. More clicks, more everything, more hype. Then it could be like, yo, I'm coming out with my Top G Audible autobiography, and I'm doing the Audible book. Buy it on this website. I don't know, because I don't know the brother, but if I was a bet man, I would say I'm not far from right on that. Not far from right. I believe he definitely don't hate women. He got too popular for his own good, for speaking the truth and pissing people off. And there's a little bit a dab of boy that cried wolf, where like, why people hate you, dislike you. You know why you're in this predicament. I was talking to my wife a month ago. I'm like, yo, I'm thinking of doing a new channel. Lando Real Thoughts, Lando, that type of stuff, conscious Lando. And me and her both agree it's not a smart business decision, not a smart move to basically do. We don't want people in her comments, my comments, our life. It wasn't worth it. So if I was smart enough to know before all of this ban stuff, if I can easily get them views, I know how to piss people off, I know how to be debatable, I know how to completely do it, and I knew it wasn't worth it. Let's say if I did it and now I'm complaining that everything is happening, but I knew in the back of my head that this could happen. So you can't complain too much. Let me know what y'all thoughts. I don't want to keep this video too long. I'm Lando Says. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'm out.